Okay, good morning, everyone. I guess this class has to be in English, right? I know I've seen some of your faces. Can you introduce yourself a bit?
Yes, my name is Dominic.
Dominic? Okay. Germany.
Exchange student
Okay.
for this semester.
Alright. อันนี้คนไทยป่ะครับ
ใช่
ใช่ครับอันนี้เหมือนกันเนาะ so there's only one I thought there was more are you from Thailand
No,
no oh you're from
Lao.
Laos okay can you what's your name
Tino.
Tinu okay
And, oh, shit.
okay I'll try to get to know all of you during the breaks and anything usually because in the master class I'm interested in what project you are doing so that maybe I can accommodate your needs a little bit more if I can right? But don't worry for the Thai folks. I will also try to explain things in Thai. So pardon me too. So I'll try to go both ways just to make sure that everybody can understand. So, but mostly in English. But when I help you guys, you can พูดไทยก็ได้นะครับ You can stick to me in Thai. It's okay. This is not international programs. Okay, ได้เลยครับ Okay, well ลอง sign in เลยครับ ผมก็ไม่รู้เหมือนกันครับ จัดเลยครับ อีเมลคุณได้ไหม
เมื่อกี้ลองอีเมลมหาลัยมันไม่ให้ค่ะ
แล้ว cancel ได้ไหม ถ้า cancel นี่เกิดอะไรขึ้น
มันก็วนกลับมาที่เดิม
โอ้นี่มัน OneDrive นี่มา cancel อีกได้ไหม skip for now ได้ไหมโอเค Okay, so first of all, we have the Mango system for communications and like general stuff. So just make sure, so I just want to make sure that you guys can access this, this platform. That should be, I think we're here, right? Okay. And probably I won't put anything much in here apart from just a couple links. And then, so one of the most important links you're gonna use all the time is this one. So this one, I just creating a link for the class so that if I need to update it, I can do it very easily, right? So right now I just put a couple URL into it. And today's lecture can be accessed from this link. So just make sure that you can access this link, right? And just to make and I name it so that it's a little bit easier to remember. So it's cmu.2/AI class. So you can just do.
I don't know. I don't think that I can access.
Oh, okay. I don't think this one is that important apart from just and wait. So you don't have this access for any class? No, not. Can you access this too?
About Mango?
Mango?
Yes.
Oh, because your status is different, right? Okay.
I think I will get the access in the future.
Okay, so maybe if I want to make an announcement, I'll just do email, just to make sure, right? But everybody else, until you get access, I'll just do announcement by email. So mostly just, like today I might not be able to come and things like that, right? Okay. Okay, but I think everybody can access this link, right? cmu.to/AI class. So just make sure that you can. Dominic, make sure that you can do this one, okay? Okay, and this one. And today I'm going to start from this lecture right here. Okay. Okay, ทุกคนเข้าได้นะครับ อันนี้นะครับ Okay. Okay, all right, good. Just hello again. So this course is 255749. It's the artificial intelligence for manufacturing. But I think mostly we'll just do artificial intelligence and mostly machine learning actually because it's been proven quite useful in many areas and especially in manufacturing too. My name is Niran Pisutha-Arnond. You can call me Ajahn Niran or Ajahn Niran would be fine. Niran, okay? And today, and actually in this class, we're going to learn, mostly just machine learning, right? So as you can see, the topics today is just introduction and mostly get you familiarized with Python. So might take a couple weeks, but I think that will be an important skill. So I want to spend time teaching you some of the Python. Who here has used Python in some shape or form? You never use it? No? Okay. So nobody used it at all? Never touch it? Okay. So then I think that's good because everybody start at the same pace, so then you don't get too bored, okay? All right, we'll do that. And then we're just gonna focus mainly on machine learning because that's been, I guess, quite useful in many situations. So we start from classification, some data processing, artificial neural network, and some of the deep learning stuff. And I'm not really sure that we can actually touch these two topics in very deep detail. I try for many years, but I mostly run out of time by the time we are about deep learning. So mostly, I don't promise, but I want to maybe set aside a couple last week or so to talk about these two, especially the natural language processing, because it's been a very popular. I guess it's a buzzword nowadays, especially like the large language model. So hopefully I can make that happen with today this year's course. But I don't promise how much detail I can go into. But definitely, the earlier topics, it's very common nowadays. So you should be able to perform quite some work on it. Okay. So in terms of grading, that's going to be take-home midterm, 30%, take-home finals, 30%, and some of the in-class activities, which is 40%. So I would just say that don't worry too much about grading, because usually the grading in the master course is pretty light, and it's pretty easy, I guess. So if you come to class every time and do activity and do the homework in some get an okay performance on the exam, you should be able to get at least B, grade B. If you get lower than that, that means that you don't come to class at all, and you just turn me blank exam. That's what happened. But usually people pass this class with relatively ease. Okay. All right. And resource that you can learn, usually for AI especially, things change so quickly that normally, like before, I would recommend you like a textbook, for example. But I just found that like in a year or so, like the textbook that you read will just be obsolete. That's why I think the better way for you to find resources on the internet is to actually search Google for something like AI machine learning curated list. And usually people, especially in the software ecosystem, they use GitHub a lot. Okay, I don't think I will teach you how to use GitHub in this course, but it's just a place that you can store code and a lot of other information. And people that do machine learning, usually they are software developers, and they use GitHub a lot. So they put a lot of information, a lot of really updated and useful information on GitHub. So that's why if you search for like AI machine learning curated list GitHub, then a lot of it's called repositories on GitHub will come up, and they usually have a lot of useful links. Some of the examples are here. If you get, I'll just show you some of them. For example, like the first one, I'll just click here. Okay, this one come up. Oh, it has to do verification. This one. Yeah, so for this one, right, there are a lot of links in here that you can follow, and then there are a lot. Usually, most of the resources are free, because in the machine learning, especially the open source world, everything has to be free. So you should be, I mean, the only thing is your time. That's all, right? And when you look at this, one of the things I usually notice, take a note when I look at all of this, is that how often they update this information. So I can say like this one is probably, this one is 2 years old. So take that into consideration when you want to evaluate how updated the information is. So usually a year or two should be okay, but in the machine learning or AI world, anything more than 4 years is ancient already. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, and then I also found myself not reading as much textbook and more of the resource like this nowadays. So I guess this is my approach. Yeah, but you certainly your mouse may vary. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the first thing is that I want to give you some taste over the AI thing because it has been a very I guess popular words nowadays, and I guess a lot of money has been thrown into a lot of research and developments in this area. Let me set up my writing things for a bit. Okay. Or maybe I should ask you, is there any administrative things that you might ask มีอะไรในเรื่องของการจัดการอยากถามก่อนไหมครับก่อนจะไปลงลึกกว่านี้ You're good? Okay? That's fine. Let's go. Okay. Is it working? Okay, it's working. Okay. All right, so let me give you a brief introduction to artificial intelligence and especially machine learning, right? What is artificial intelligence? Everybody would say that the father of AI is this guy. It's John McCarthy. You'll see him, his name pop up a lot when you search for like AI history. His name will pop up because he is the guy who coined the name artificial intelligence, right? The definition of that is that it's a science and engineering, so both science and engineering that makes machine appears intelligent, right? I use the word appear because it's artificial. Mostly it's just a bunch of logic and code, but it's just very complex that we just treat it as intelligence. You know, but for now it's still artificial. But there has been a lot of work towards something called the general intelligence, and that's something like that you probably have heard from like the sci-fi story that the robot will take over the world. So that's I think in a quite far future. But right now, you know, anything that you use AI is actually artificial because it has been programmed in some shape or form by human. Okay. If you look at the history timeline, there are many timelines. I mean, I just choose one because this one actually quite updated. You can see that the name artificial intelligence is coined by this guy, John McCarthy. So that's the guy in the previous slide. This is about like 60 years ago, right? And then you can see that there are milestones that occur during the history of our history, right? For example, this is the first conversation bot, right? So actually AI has been around for a long time, and it started with like a very simple chatbot. And right now it's actually chatbot, but it's actually very smart, right? But start with a kind of like the dumb chatbot, right? Okay, and AI can do chess playing, right? I think you have heard of that. Right now, AI has beat chess, the world chess, and actually has beaten the game Go, has beat the world's champion in Go too. So it's pretty advanced right now. And there are, and AI and robots also has been developing, I guess, in conjunction. So you can have something that, like a smart robot. So this is the first pet dog, Aibo. Right, so this one is around the time I was in high school. It's quite popular, right? Yeah, I don't have one. It's very expensive, right? And there are vacuum cleaner. This is kind of interesting. So this is the vacuum cleaner that learned to navigate homes. So nowadays, this is very common, right? But the first introduction to that is pretty groundbreaking because it learns to navigate the space and avoid the obstacles and things like that. So yeah, use AI, right? And Siri is another milestone because it's quite smart, right? And in that time, I was in college and I was quite surprised when I tell Siri to like open the app for me or make an appointment. That was quite groundbreaking. But nowadays it's just very common again, right? I remember watching Watson on the TV show Jeopardy. This is the game ตอบคำถาม during that time I was I was doing PhD and then I watched this game show every day. I was in the US at that time and I actually watched this episode where Watson actually beat human. So that was quite fun. Yeah. And also there is Amazon Alexa. I don't know if you guys have it. I don't have it. I never use it, but supposedly should be pretty smart, I guess. I never use it. And then, but now I have used this one, right? GPT, Chat GPT. So that is something that quite popular nowadays. And if you have heard, right, in the news, like every company, every tech company try to be the first one who own this LLM technology because it's winner take all. It's a gold mine at this time. It's almost like the .com boom. Right now it's the AI boom. So this one. So that's why if I have a chance, I have time, I wanna visit this topic at the end of the course. But I don't know how much time I will have, but we'll see. Okay. All right. If you talk about the branches, okay, which area can we do? There are machine learning. So this one is something that we will spend most of the time in this course because it's been quite common nowadays, and it's at the level where like any person can use it with relatively ease. There is natural language processing, and this is the foundation for like the ChatGPT and all this large language model that are available nowadays. Hopefully I can revisit this topic soon. Computer vision, this one is pretty cool, right? You've seen it, like when you open apps and they verify your face in the bank and they never pass and I cannot transfer money. That's this guy here, right? It's been used a lot too. We will visit this topic, I think, in the second half of the course. Robotics, this one just make the robot smart. So a lot of things that goes into here. Expert systems, this one is the almost like a chatbot, but it's the chatbot that actually learn the knowledge in the domain, specific domain, and it become like experts, for example. Neural network and deep learning. So this one is like a general area where you build on architecture that can learn a lot of things. Image, it is one of them. And you can do all kinds of things with deep learning. We'll do that too in this course. Okay. Fuzzy logic, I don't know much about this guy. This is it's like how to handle things that are fuzzy. I don't know much about this. Evolutionary computation, yeah, something like that. Like all of this is actually, I think it falls into the category called the reinforcement learning. But I haven't looked into this in great detail. But usually just machine learning that will be looked at. Okay. All right. So application of AI. I don't think anybody can deny that we have used AI every day, right? In business, like business intelligence, in healthcare, AI can do lots of things like invent the new drugs and like prevent things from happening, do diagnostic and things like that, right? Education, yeah, I think a lot of platform has some AI built in. Maybe they can recommend certain topics. They can do grading, maybe. I wish that would be available very soon, like auto grading by AI. Finance, definitely, right? Prediction of the price and things like that. And also, since our class is called AI in manufacturing, actually AI has been used in manufacturing also, right? If you are interested, there are a lot of resources on the internet, or you can also follow some of the links I posted here. Okay. All right. Okay. Wait. Hold on. I should see if I want to do right here. Okay. Okay, now, let me just give you a little more information, but specifically on machine learning. Right? So the machine learning is just this part right here. Right? And there's a lot more in AI. but machine learning is something that I've been using it a lot. So it's a subfield, right? It's just a branch of artificial intelligence, and then it actually basically just make the machine learn, right? Right. When you say learn, what it means is that it can do stuff, or it can kind of like perform the tasks without being explicitly programmed, right? We don't actually tell it to do things like in line by line or step by step, but it kind of figured it out by its own. That's the concept of learning, okay? So when we are, as a human, right, we learn from experience, right? And traditional like machine, like robot, we have to tell them line by line to do things, right? To follow instructions, right? But then when you have the machine learning, right? How do you make it learn from experience, right? The experience in the context of machine learning is data. So that is why machine learning is actually quite useful nowadays, because nowadays we have lots of data, right, through the emergence of like what is called Web 2, right? Web 2 is like when you have user that produce data and then upload it onto the internet. Like when we use Facebook, everybody keep taking photo of oneself and upload on the internet. So then we have lots of photos on the internet. Everybody posts things online in the forum. So then we have lots of data. So that's why machine learning becomes useful, because we have lots of data, and this is proven to be quite capable. Okay. In terms of machine learning, there are different types too. Machine learning can be divided into supervised learning, okay, and then unsupervised learning, and then reinforcement learning. Right? In our class, we will probably spend most of the time in the supervised learning area. If I have a chance, I will visit this one slightly. Probably not reinforcement learning. This one is a little bit kind of off topic, and it has a lot of information in there on its own. It can be another class called reinforcement learning. Right?
Can I ask?
Sure.
What's the difference? You said for the supervised learning, it's regression classification, and for the unsupervised learning, it's clustering. What's the difference between them?
Okay. We'll go through that in the slide later on, but I can give you some intro. When you say about supervised learning, it's you have to give the data in such a way that you have to give the data with the answer to the machine, so that it can do it learns the input and the correct answer. So that's why it's called task driven. When you say task driven, it means you already have the answer. So it knows the input and the answer. So then when it builds the model, it can predict the unknown, the new input with the new answer, right? And then this name, it's just saying that the output has two types. It can be class, or just like a type of something, or it's actually a type of something, or it can be a number. So if you want to predict class or type, like predict dog and cat, then you go with classification. And if you want to predict number, you go with regression. So that's what the name implies, right? But for the unsupervised learning, you actually don't know the answer. You just throw the data into the machine, and it just figure out things on its own. And mostly the things that we want the machine to do is to cluster the data. Like that's why it's called clustering. That's the most activity that we want the machine to tell us. For example, if I have a bunch of customers, like maybe I have like a e-commerce website, and I have like 1 million customers. I wanna understand my customer. I don't have answer. I just have customer data, like gender, age, like things that they buy. I just throw all of this information into this unsupervised learning. And what they're doing mostly will just cluster the customer for me. I would just say like, okay, this 1,000 customer are similar, right? And then from that information, I can do things like, if one customer buy, let's say one customer buy like one thing, I can recommend another product by looking at the similar customer and see what they're buying, and I just recommend that product to the first guy. So that's what is called clustering. Like we don't know the answer, but just find some structure in the data for me. That's called clustering. We'll visit this concept in a bit in later slides, all right? But thanks for asking. Thanks for asking, all right? Okay, so for the supervised learning, first we have to have data, right? And this is called the training data. You will hear this term a lot, training data, right? It's the input data. So the training data comprises of input data and also the response. So that's what I mean, right? When I say response, it has to know the answer. So for example, if I give the machine like a bunch of image, I have to tell the machine that this is dog image, this is tree, this is glasses, and things like that. That's the answer. And then the machine will take that data and then build a model. Okay, so this is the machine learning model. And then once it has the model, then I can give the machine a new image that I don't know the answer. Like I can give like a new cat picture. And then if the model is trained correctly, the machine should tell me that this picture is cat. And there are many cases that the machine cannot tell me the correct answer. And that's something that the machine learning practitioner has to be very careful in building the model. You have to be aware that the model can give wrong answer. And you have to know like how accurate the model is. And that is the details when we're going to learn in the machine learning, okay? All right? In similar concept, but in a more detail in terms of like practicality, this is how it works. So first, if I have data, right? Usually the data are in like image, audio, document, and can be anything, right? So this is your data, and you have the answer, like this is the label. Sometimes we call it, mostly we call it labels. So for example, image, right? You have image data, and you label them as cat and dog and things like that, right? Usually if you throw this data into the code, it doesn't understand because the code is a computer program. It only knows numbers. So you have to convert all of this into vector, right? So behind the scene, this is just math. It's just number, a lot of number. But we have to have like this transformation, right? From the data that can be maybe text, maybe image, maybe audio. You have to convert them into a series of number. It's called vector, right? So mathematics come back to haunt us again, right? And also same thing with the labels. We usually have to convert the label into like number. But that's pretty easy, just 1, 2, 3, right? And then all of this number is thrown into the machine learning algorithm in order to build the model, right? So once you get the model, the next time that you have the image that you don't know the answer, you just come up with the image, right? And you convert them into the series of number again, because the machine can only understand numbers, right? And then you plug it into the model, and the model gives the label in terms of number, right? So behind the scene, the model will just do, okay, this picture is label 0, this picture label 2, and then you have to know it yourself that, okay, label 0 is dog, label 2 is cat. That's something you have to build yourself in terms of like writing the code or reference it yourself, actually. Okay? And yeah, just with the question that was asked previously, right? So in terms of supervised learning, there are also 2 types depending on the answer that you want. If you want the answer that are classes or types like cats and dog, so these are called classification because it's class, right? You see the word class right here, right? And if you want the answer to be a number, for example, if you want to predict the stock price or the Bitcoin price, right now it's very high, right? You go with regressions. So behind the scene, these 2 algorithms are very similar. The only thing that is different is how they compute the error in the model. That's all. The rest is the same. So once you learn one thing, the other thing is you can learn pretty easily, very fast. Okay. And usually the name are the same. Like you can have the same model, and you have the classification type and the regression type, but the base model is actually the same most of the time. Okay. Okay, next off, we move to unsupervised learning. So this one, as I told you, we don't know the answer. and we actually don't care about the answer. We just want to know the structure of the data. So when we have the data that doesn't have answer, that we call it unlabeled, right? Because we don't label anything, we just have maybe customer. We have a bunch of customers. Go learn the structure of my data. We have a bunch of stock prices. Go learn the stock price. And usually what's useful is for the machine to be able to group them together to find some similarity, right? So if you can see from this picture, if I have data, right, the unsupervised learning, what they're trying to do is they're trying, okay, so this one belongs to the green groups, right? This one close together, it belongs to another group, and this one to another group. And what I want to do after this is actually up to me. Right now, it only gives me the structure, kind of like insight into my structure only, okay? And this type of activity is called clustering, right? I guess to tell you the truth, I guess in my feeling is that there should be other type of activities that you can do with unsupervised learning. But from my experience, I have not seen any algorithm that doesn't do clustering in unsupervised learning. Like all the algorithm that I learn is doing clustering. So that's why it's mainly clustering that people do, okay? Okay, this one for the, you can see this picture looks very similar to the supervised learning, right? The only thing that's different is the output, right? This output is actually cluster ID, right? It just tells me that there are this data that are similar, and it just gives me the ID. That's all I have, and I have to do something else apart from that later on. Okay, and the last type of machine learning is called reinforcement learning. As I told you, this one is probably not covered in this course. This is a type of machine learning that kind of mimic the way that people or like animals learn in real life. So this one has the concept of environment, right? We think of the machine learning as the agent. It's called the agent, and then we put the agent into the environment, and we want the agent to learn how to survive in the environment. So basically, the agent will try to maximize the reward. So we give them the condition that give them rewards or penalty when the agent is doing something, and then we just let the agent just learn the environment like many times, and in the end, after we train them, then it will come up with the best policy. So how to operate in the most optimal ways in the environments. Like that sounds kind of abstract, but this is exactly what we learn. Like I have a kid, I have a baby. Right now I have a kid, right? But I remember like my kids when as a baby. That's how they learn, right? The baby just has it has some intelligence, but but don't know how to survive in the environment, right? It just do its own thing randomly, right? But then if it touches something hot and it burns the finger, then it knows that next time it should not touch that thing again. So then it develops the policy not to touch the hot things, right? And then if it behaves well and I'm happy, then the baby learns that it should do this thing because the parents are happy. If it doesn't do, it misbehaves, the parent gets angry, it gets scolded, then the baby stops doing it. So it's similar thing as we learn in this type of learning. And I think one of the good example is this one. It's game playing, right? I'll just show you this one. Okay, so this is the Mario, right? You guys know about Mario, right? So they want the AI to learn how to play Mario through reinforcement learning. So think about this. AI doesn't really know about anything, right? It doesn't even know that the Mario is supposed to go to the right. And in the end, it kind of learned that it has to go to the right and it has to avoid the enemy. It has to avoid the pitfall. And the reason that it can do that is that it has the concept of reward and punishment. Like reward means that the score goes up or it doesn't die by the end. And penalty is when it gets the life go to 0, right? You can see that after it plays the game, it learns the best policy, so how to press the control, the Mario. So right now it's getting better and better. I think this one is better than me now. I cannot do this. I kind of get stuck here a little bit. So it's playing a lot of games, right? Yay, right? So this is a type of machine learning called like reinforcement learning. So usually it starts doing random things, and then it knows the concept of reward and penalties, and then it develops a new policy of doing things, and then after a while it should get better, right? So I mean, I guess the most obvious application of this might be like robots, right? Because the robot can learn, for example, the vacuum cleaners, it can learn to navigate the house because when it hits something, it knows that, okay, this is not good, so then it develop a new policy not to touch this thing again. So that would be an obvious application for reinforcement learning. But I think another one that's quite interesting is optimization. Think about optimization, right? If I can draw this well, hopefully, right? Maybe 2D is enough. Okay, in the optimization problem, you have what's it called, the cost function, right? And you want to find the x that's maybe minimized. It's okay, it's the same as optimized, but let's say you want to find x that minimizes the cost function, right? That's the optimization problem. Actually, this one can be framed into the reinforcement learning, because think about this. If we have the machine that actually focus on the, like this guy, right? This point here, this is the machine, right? The machine doesn't know where to go, so it just moves randomly. Move wherever. So maybe we have something that is more complex, right? So maybe we start from here, right? And the agent, right, move randomly, just move here and here. So think about this. This is just one dimension, right? But you have, in the real optimization problem, you have like a lot of dimensions. So it just moves randomly, right? And then the reward is that the cost function goes down, and the penalty is the cost function goes up. And then you can do the same algorithm, have the machine learn how to move, how to navigate the cost function landscape in order to come up with the best solution. So actually, if you look into the optimization, a lot of algorithm nowadays has been, reinforcement learning too. Apart from the the genetic things, or I don't know, like they usually come up with like a lot of animal, like firefly, ant thing, swarm algorithm, or genetic algorithm. And reinforcement learning is one of the choices. So I think some of you guys also are in optimization research, and maybe you can tell me about it too if you happen to look into that area, because I'm quite interested in how advanced right now, like how much progress it is in terms of like comparing with traditional optimization methods. Okay. Talking into the scope of our class, right? AI in manufacturing. Maybe I don't know if you guys in factories or in manufacturing, like anyone's in manufacturing area? Are you guys doing factory? Oh, okay. Maybe I can ask you, no pressure, but have you guys used AI in manufacturing yet? Or maybe you can describe what area of manufacturing are you doing first?
I thought you meant if we visited some plants.
Mm-hmm. Are you? So, just want to make sure. Are you from the company? Or are you still students?
No,
Student. Okay. Are you guys from company?
Like I did an internship at a glass factory in Germany.
Oh, okay.
And they tried to implement RFID
RFID?
sensor and as tag to automate like removing packages that's stored online. But AI is, I think,
Very new, yeah.
very new, like for a lot of companies. So it's difficult to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably true in mostly, and especially in Thailand. I don't think we use as much AI in manufacturing yet. But I guess it's something that we talked about a lot, and probably in a very a far future, I guess. But you can imagine, right, that once AI has become more approachable and more cost effective, then it can come into help us in manufacturing. For example, you can do generative design. I have some of the details in here, but you can read through it too, right? Generative design. So right now you can generate image from text, right? You can do like DALL-E. So technically, if the AI is kind of smart enough, it can generate some good designs. Right now, it's probably 90% crap right now. You can do inspection. So that's something that I've seen in a more advanced manufacturing plant. Like they have AI that analyze like image and stuff. So that's possible. Preventive maintenance. Haven't seen that much, but technically, if you have the AI learn the anomaly in your data, then it might be able to predict some machine downtime in the future, things like that. Forecasting is something I've seen a lot in many projects. For example, sales forecast, demand forecast, that's very common nowadays. And real-time monitoring. So that one I've seen quite a bit in terms of analyzing the data and just alert, notify the engineer when there is some incidents on the manufacturing plants. So that is possible. So mainly just if you can think about AI as the automation tools, I think that has quite a good application in manufacturing. Okay. So you can read through some of the information that I gather. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's for the introduction to AI and machine learning. And now, since I guess I have convinced some of you, I guess you must be convinced or else you would not be here, right? That AI and machine learning is somewhat useful and it's a good skill to have, right? So in order to use it, there are many frameworks that you can use. For example, I think this one is quite popular and we use them in another class. It's RapidMiner. You guys used RapidMiner before? Anybody? Yeah. Okay. So some of you have used it, right? It's pretty good. I would not say anything bad about it. It's pretty good, right? If you go on Amazon, there's Amazon SageMaker. That one is for cloud infrastructure. If you build like a web application and you want to do AI, machine learning, that one is a product for you. I have not used this one, but I've heard somewhat quite a lot about it. Kanimi, I don't know how to do it, but it's an analytics platform, use AI, right? Microsoft Azure Machine Learning, so that's one kind of like a competitor to the SageMaker, because Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, they all compete with one another. So as you can see, there are Google Vertex AI, that's for machine learning too, right? And this one is relatively new, but I've seen some buzz around it. That's another software, that's another framework for doing like AI machine learning also, right? So the problem, I guess, with all of those tools is that first, it's expensive. Like I don't think anybody wants to pay for it, like let alone the company, right? And another thing is that it can only do one thing. So you learn RapidMiner, it can only do AI and machine learning, right? So maybe I want a tool that free, like free is the best word, right? When you go to company and say it's free, then I think the barrier of entry is pretty low, right? And then maybe your tool doesn't do AI only. It can do other things like optimization. It can do process simulation, data visualization, business intelligence, and even just develop application, right? And that's Python. So I guess that's why we're using it in this class. And And another thing is that I don't know how to use any other tools. So you gotta learn Python with me, right? And I think it's a good skill to have in these centuries anyway. So if you are not too much into AI, at least I hope you have Python by the end of this course, okay? That could be useful. Okay, so I guess you guys never code Python before, so we're gonna start with the first Python code ever in your life. I guess in your life, right? Usually when you do programming, you gotta do hello world, right? Okay, so this is the Python code that do hello world, but how do I run this, right? There are a couple places you can run this code. First, it's on cloud. So this is the easiest way. Let's go, okay? There is a service that's called Google Colab that you can use to run Python code pretty easily. So just go to Google. Not this guy, not this one. Just go to search Google for Google Colab. It's actually one L. Okay. This guy right here. You have computer? You okay? There's no computer. You have laptop, but you got a place to sit. You can sit over here if you want. You can. You good? Okay. Oh, you have Macs. That will be challenging because I don't have Macs. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. You can click into here, and usually you might see something different from what I do because I already use it a lot. Maybe I want to see what your screen looks like. เป็นไงบ้างเนี่ยลองเปิดให้ดูหน่อยดิ Okay, maybe you need to log in first. Maybe I'll see the login screen. Okay, maybe I'm looking for something like this. But I'll ยังไงบ้างแบบนั้นใช่ครับนี่ใช่ไหมยังไม่เสร็จดีครับโอเค Okay, so good.ได้ไหมแต่แล้วไม่ยังโอเคล็อกอินครับต้องล็อกอินครับ Okay, you need to sign in. Okay, for those who have already signed in, we can get started. Usually I start with files and new notebook in Drive. That's why I suggest that you sign in so that it's connected to your Google Drive automatically. See, like that, right? So you guys like that? If you want, you can start playing right now, or you can. I'm just waiting for people. เดี๋ยวกดตรงยกเลิกก่อนนะครับแล้วก็มาที่ไฟล์แล้วก็สรุปบันทึกใหม่ใน Drive.
Should I use like Google account with my Unimail?
Actually, anyone and any account is fine.
Okay.
For me, I usually use personal account.
Yes, I use my personal.
The thing is that this file will go into Google Drive. So which Google Drive you want the file to be stored on, you use that account.
Thank you.
นี่เกิดอะไรขึ้นเนี่ยไม่มีเน็ตเหรอได้นะโอเค very good okay anybody still not getting this pitch okay all right so actually there's nothing else that's nothing more complicated right you just start typing right so you can type by copying my code or you can type it yourself if you want or you can if you don't want to type you can copy and paste. Let me just type it for me, just to show you, okay? You can start typing like message equal hello world, right? So right now, you have to do the double quotes. Actually, single quote is fine, but we'll talk about it, okay? And then another line is print message, right? As you can probably can guess, this is just printing hello world. And how do I run this? You notice there's a play button in here. You can click play. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and if everything goes well, you should see hello world coming up right at the bottom. See how easy this is? So this is something I really like about Python because the ecosystem is so easy to get into. Like there's nothing in the programming world that is as easy as this one, right? This is, I think, one of the best way to learn programming, to use this one. But we're not going to use it in this class because it's too easy. Okay? All right. If you want to type more code, of course you can. You can do, you can add code, and then you can do other things. You can even run the same code. If I were to copy this one and paste in here, I can run the second block, and it just do it. So I can just change into hello world again, right? And then I'll just rerun it. As you can see that it's actually a separate blocks of code. You can run the first one, you can run the second one, you can add the third one. You can even delete the first one, right? You can this one goes away. You can delete it, right? Just do whatever you want. So this thing is called the interactive interface, right? Yeah. Good. I know. Okay. All right. But see, this code is actually online and it's actually stored in your. One of the nice things is that this is already in your Google Drive. So it's actually, this code is not gone. It's there on your drive already. So if I were to go to my Google Drive, so see, I have a lot of folders in here, but look for the folder called Google Colab. If you use Google Colab in any shape or form, you should have this Colab notebook folder popping up. If you click into it, you should see the file that you just worked on just a moment ago popping up in your Google Drive. And actually, this file you can share with other people so that you can collaborate too. That's one of the best things about this tool. So cool, right? And a lot of the example of Python online is actually written using this platform. You can just open it and you clone them into your drive and it's yours forever. So it's pretty cool. Right? Yeah, you can share this file like similar to how you share the file with like other type of files in Google Drive. So that's pretty convenient, right? Okay. Anybody have some problem using these tools? And then you can delete them if you want, right? If I don't like this one because it's kind of clutter my stuff, I just delete them. That's all. It's gone. Okay. Well, it's actually not gone. It's in the trash. Okay. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Okay. But see, we are not going to use this one as much, especially I guess during the first half of the course because I want to do things. The thing that I found that I don't like about this tool is that it's slow. Once it's online, every time I run it, it takes time to run. Like I like things to be like instantaneous. I like them to be like snappy. So that's why I think running things locally makes more sense when you want to learn about when you want to get serious about Python. Okay, so let's do that too. Like we're getting serious, okay? So we're going to run this code, but we're going to run it on local machine. So getting serious, man. Okay. See, but the thing about Python or programming in general is that there's million ways of doing things locally. Like not specifically with Python, like any type of programming language. If you want to install, there's like tons of instruction and like many ways of doing it. And that's the way it is, right? So I'm going to tell you all the ways, like many ways that I have used in the past, and the way that I will do in this course, because I just found it to be the best way for me right now. Okay? So I guess the most common way you can do is through Microsoft Store. Let me just show you that. If I go to Windows, for Windows only, right? For Mac, it's different things, right? But I can go to Microsoft Store right here. But please don't do it yet, okay? Don't do it yet, because we're not going to use this method for now. And then I can type Python. And there you go, right? These are the Python version that you can install. For example, right now it's 3.13. That's the latest one. If I were to click here, I can install it right away. So that's one of the way, I guess one of the easiest way to do if you're on Windows. If you're on Mac, there are other ways that I have to look it up, right? But I'm not going to do it in this course, okay? Another way is actually go to Python website, okay? You can go to Python website from maybe like Google, right here, Python. And then you can do download, right? And then you can download. This one will download the executable, and you just double click the exe file, like similar to how you download, like install regular software. You can do that too, okay? That's another way to do. But I'm not going to do that today too. Okay. See, so let me show. Let me talk to you why I don't do this method. Okay. These two methods actually install Python system-wide. Okay. When you say system-wide, it means that it installs into the core location of your system, and it's going to be available in every places that you can access from your computer. Which sounds good, right? Like, what's wrong with install things globally? Like, you do this all the time, right? But the thing is that once you start doing a lot of projects in Python, you have to install packages. Packages is like add-on to Python. For example, if you want to do machine learning, you do scikit-learn package. If you want to do deep learning, you do TensorFlow. And what I found is that these packages don't like one another. They are incompatible. So if you install Python globally, and you install, for example, maybe scikit-learn and TensorFlow, then they start to clash into one another and make things very, very complicated. So from what I learned in my experience, I don't like installing things system-wide. I like things to be encapsulated. So that's why I don't like these first two approaches. Okay? The third way is actually from Anaconda. So it's a snake theme, right? You have Python, you have Anaconda, but that's just the name, right? But Anaconda is called the distribution. Distribution is like packaging everything you might want in the future into one like really, really huge package that you just install once and you're done forever. That's the selling point of Anaconda, which I think it delivers, but the thing is that it's too big. Like I started 5 years ago doing Anaconda. It takes about half a gigabyte. Right now, it's about 2 gigabytes. So if you want to run Hello World from Python, you're downloading 2 gigabytes worth of data. I think that's too big. So I think ever since last year or so, I stopped recommending Anaconda to students because it just makes their laptop explode. So so right now I don't recommend Anaconda because it's just way too big. Right now it's just bloated. Right? It gives you too many things. Okay? So the fourth method that I like so far nowadays is called the UV Package Manager. I like it because it's small, it's very lightweight, small footprint in your computers. It's very fast. Okay? And also it doesn't install anything system-wide. So when you install packages, it doesn't clash with one another. So it's good when you want to do the things that we're doing in the class right now. We're going to do machine learning, and then we do deep learning, and then we're going to have problem if you do things system-wide, right? So I want to prevent that problem in the future. So let's do it with me. So this one is actually one of the newest ways to play with Python nowadays. It's very popular amongst the software developers. So let's do that. Okay? See, before we go into the instruction, I want to talk to you about another thing. It's called the virtual environments. Okay? So when I just recall that I told you that if I were to install through the conventional way, I install Python system-wide, right? When you say system-wide, it means that, for example, if you have like Windows right here, right? You're gonna, let's say you install Python 3.12 into it, fine. You install this green box into your system. It's available globally, right? And once you start installing packages, for example, like machine learning, deep learning, and things like that, it lives in this green box right here. And as I was telling you, right, some of the packages don't like one another. So it's possible that package 2 and 3 start fighting. So then you have compatibility issues, right? So that is the problem when you don't have what is called the virtual environments, okay? So see, when you were using the today's approach, which is called the UV package manager, what that package is doing is that it's actually creating what's called the virtual environment. It's creating the orange box. So you can see that in the same operating system, you can have as many environments as you want. You can have many orange box as many as you want. And in each of the orange box, it's actually encapsulated by its own. So it's self-contained. So that means that I can have one orange box install Python 3.12 and with just 2 packages. And then I can have another orange box installing, actually it doesn't have to be the same version. It can be another Python version. It can have its own packages. So let's say I just told you, let's say we have package 2 and 3 fighting one another. If we were to doing the previous approach, you're going to have problem. These 2 packages doesn't like one another, right? But if we were to do the virtual environment approach, we can have 2 environments that are separate from one another, and the 2 and 3 doesn't know about each one existence. So we're good, right? So that is the approach that we are going to do today. I know that it's a bit complicated, but trust me, you'll thank me later, okay? Okay, let's go. The instruction for installing is actually in the link that I give you in the Mango. So this link right here. And you go to Python installation. What we'll just do together line by line, but I just want you to have this link available first. This one. Okay, this one is for Windows. For Mac, let me help you later, all right? Mac, anybody else has Mac? I guess no. This one, I'll help you later, okay? This one, because I want to try. I want to try how to do it in Mac. That should be quite a good experience, okay? Actually, we're not there yet. We're using Visual Studio Code, but that's later. But this one, we're just installing Python and virtual environments first. But I'll get back to you, okay? Just sit back. Just sit back, okay? Don't do anything preemptively, okay? So first, we're going to install UV. So that's called the package manager, okay? First, I want you to help me one thing, is that we're going to uninstall any Python in your machine, because I don't want problem with the existing installation, just to make sure that your computer is clean, especially the lab computer, which has been used in the past. So it has a lot of Python in there, right? So help me uninstall first. So we're going to go to Add and Remove right here. It's just a way, that's how you uninstall program, right? So you do this, go into this dialog, and search for Python. If you have one. If you have more than one Python, just uninstall all of them. Like for example, I have this Python in my computers. Right here. See, I have Python 3.12.6, right? I want to uninstall this one. you can just click the dotted lines and uninstall right here. Maybe I'll just do this for you. Just uninstall. Okay, so help me clean the lab computer and also maybe clean your computer as well ครับลุกเวอร์ชันเลยครับมันไอเนี้ยเครื่องพวกนี้มันเก่ามันแบบทุกๆปีมันก็ลงใหม่แล้วมันก็มั่วกันหมดเลยเอาออกให้หมดเลยครับครับจะ remove โปรแกรมใช่ไหมครับ
อ๋อ remove ไปแต่พอดีใน Mac ผมไม่มี
งั้นเดี๋ยวผมแอดให้ขอรหัสนักเรียนหรือมาบอกผมเลยไหมข้างหน้าทำให้เลยก็ได้มาพิมพ์ที่เครื่องผมเลยไหมจบเลย Okay, we're gonna uninstall every version in the computer, okay? นี่ครับนี่ครับมันจะเนี่ยครับรหัสนักเรียนหรืออีเมลก็ได้ครับสองอย่างลองดูครับทำไมเก่าเหรอเก่ามาก
สภาพคอมเหมือนใช้เป็นเทียบโฟ
แล้วมันรันได้อยู่อันนี้เป็นของเล่นใหม่ผมนะทุกคนก็เป็นหนูทดลองกับผมด้วยนะอันนี้คือของเล่นใหม่ปีนี้เลยเพราะว่าแบบมีเพนพอยต์มาหลายปีแล้วว่าแบบแม่งคุยมีปัญหาตลอดอันนี้ใช่ไหมครับเขาบอกว่าไม่มีแมทช์อะเราไม่ใช่นักเรียนเรามีชื่อในลองดูรหัสนักศึกษาได้ไหมครับเดี๋ยวคนนี้ก่อนนะเดี๋ยวไปหานะครับลอนเชอร์ไม่เป็นไรครับโอเคเดี๋ยวเอา help her first
คือหนู
โอ้แม็กเดี๋ยวก่อน
ไม่คือหนูสงสัยว่าหนูสามารถรันแบบหมายถึงว่าตรงเนี้ยของอาจารย์ที่แบบกำลังจะสอนสามารถใช้อนาคอนด้าได้ไหมหรือว่าหนูควรที่จะลง
จริงๆใช้อนาคอนด้าได้
แต่ว่ามันก็จะ
แต่อนาคอนด้าจะมีประเด็นตอนที่เราทำพวก deep learning เพราะว่ามันไม่มี TensorFlow แล้วพอลงแล้วมันก็เน่าพอกันเคยเจอปัญหานี้แล้วแล้วอันนี้เราลงนี่ใช้อยู่ปัจจุบันปะ
หนูใช้ตอนเรียน Optimize เทอมที่แล้วเฉย
โอเคลบดิลองลบดีกว่าไหนๆก็มาอยู่ด้วยกันแล้วลองวิธีที่ผมทดลองมาดีกว่าลบเลย you have Python in your computer I guess Mac actually come with Python built into the operating systems. I don't think you should delete that because
it's like the option when I go Command T and then this is like Python.
if you type Python, it works, I think. But that one is actually from the operating systems. See, okay. This is Mac too, right? Okay.
Yes. So I did install it this summer because I wanted to learn it myself actually, but I'm not this. I can just use this for coding, right? It's called idle. I actually think it was Anaconda, but I'm not too sure anymore.
Okay. I never used this editor before. I'm sure it will work. The only thing that I found is that it usually works fine during the first half of the class, but once you start to do deep learning, TensorFlow is very problematic because it's actually fight with the existing packages. And mostly I found that it's just a bunch of mess in your computer. So my new approach this year is to get rid of all the Python in your computer and start fresh with my package manager approach. Because this one is actually like very upcoming way of doing Python nowadays in programming world.
Is it also available for Mac?
Yes, it does. I'm just gonna show you guys maybe during the break.
Yes.
You can sit back. Maybe I help the window guys first. Okay. Yeah. But Mac is a bit tricky because it already has Python built in. So I gotta make sure that I don't delete the system requirement. They're gonna break your computer. So I had to do that first. Okay. Yeah, but keep that in mind. Okay. It's Python gone now, everyone. Python ไปยังครับไปแล้วนะโอเคwe're gonna start with the package manager. So this command line. So first we're going to use PowerShell. Okay, PowerShell is the terminal in Windows. This guy right here. เห็นไหมครับ อันนี้ทีนี้ให้กดไหนๆก็มีแต่คนไทยนะกดเลยครับเมาส์ขวาครับแล้วก็ add administrator คือตรงนี้ถ้าจะ install โปรแกรมต้องเป็นแอดมินครับปึ๊บเนาะแล้วมันก็จะจึ๊กประมาณนี้นะครับหน้าตาอาจจะไม่เหมือนผมก็ได้นะครับไม่เป็นไรเนาะแต่ว่ามันควรจะเป็น PowerShell ไม่ใช่ Command Prompt ธรรมดา PowerShell นะมันจะฟ้าถูกต้องสีฟ้า
มันไม่มีที่เสิร์ช
PowerShell ตรงนี้เรากดเมาส์ขวา run as admin มันจะจอฟ้านะครับเจอไหมเจอ PowerShell ไม่ใช่ตรงนี้ครับเราไม่ได้ uninstall PowerShell ผิดตัวครับกดตรงนี้แล้วก็พิมพ์ power แล้วก็เมาส์ขวาตรงนี้ run as admin ครับโอเคได้ขอจอฟ้านะครับจอฟ้าเรียบร้อยโอเค Okay, the next step is that we're going to install the package manager. So can you พูดภาษาไทยเดี๋ยวไปตรงลิงก์นี้เลยครับลิงก์นี้ลิงก์อยู่ไหนลิงก์อยู่ไหนลิงก์นี้นะครับเนี่ยครับ PowerShell ตรงนี้เลยครับจับยัดอย่าลืมเอาจนกระทั่งถึงตัวโค้ดเลยนะครับตัวนี้เลยนะตัวโค้ดนี่ด้วยนะครับหมดเลยนะ Copy นะครับแล้วก็แปะเข้าไปนี่ครับแล้วก็ Enter ครับ Hopefully จุดทูปว่าไม่มีอะไรพังโอเคเย้ yes okay it works okay pretty good นี่รอแป๊บนึงนะครับกดเลยครับไม่เป็นไรครับรอกันครับมันดาวน์โหลดอยู่ครับใจเย็นทำไมบางคนก็โหลดนานบางคนก็โหลดไม่นานโอเคต่อไปเรียบร้อยหมดแล้วนี่ได้ทุกคนนะครับทีนี้พอเสร็จแล้วให้ปิดไปเลยครับปิด1 ครั้งปิดไปเลยนะครับโอเคแล้วเสร็จแล้วเปิดใหม่ครับเปิดใหม่อีกทีหนึ่งเนาะ PowerShell เนาะแต่ว่าคราวนี้ไม่ต้องเมาส์ขวาแล้วครับเปิดธรรมดาก็ได้ครับเปิดธรรมดานะแล้วทีนี้ลองพิมพ์ให้ผมนิดนึงว่า UV ลองพิมพ์ UV ให้ผมหน่อย UV อย่างเงี้ยครับแล้วกด Enter ครับถ้ามันขึ้นอะไรแบบนี้แปลว่า you good to go ครับถ้ามันขึ้นอะไรแบบเนี้ยขึ้นไหมเอ่ยเนี่ยมันต้องแบบ extremely fast Python package manager ถ้ามันขึ้นอันเนี้ยแปลว่า you good to go ครับถ้าไม่ขึ้นก็เรียกผมหน่อย no ขอดูหน่อยนะฮะแป๊บนึงนะครับทำไมแดงเถือกเลยล่ะเศร้างั้นลองว่าทำไมเป็นแอดมินวะไม่เกี่ยวนะ อ้ยากกว่าเดิมอะ ไม่เข้าใจเหรอแต่เครื่องคุณได้แล้วแต่ว่าผมขอดูเครื่องนึงขอนั่งหน่อยผมไม่เข้าใจว่าทำไมไม่ได้ แต่เครื่องคุณได้แล้วนะแต่ว่าผมแค่ไม่เข้าใจว่าทำไมเครื่องอื่นมันไม่ได้วะใช่แต่ไม่ใช่เครื่องผมไงก็เลยแบบไม่สามารถดีบักได้จากเครื่องคุณอะไรครับมีครับเบรกเลยก็ได้ครับไปเลยครับเดี๋ยวปิดก่อนปิดไมค์ก่อนOkay, I think we can have I don't know, undetermined amount of break until I figure out the computer. Okay, we just break right now.